trees growing on, so I bet you that big red truck gives you guys a little bit of a giveaway of where we're at today. So about a week before Thanksgiving, it is a cool, brisk morning here in Florida. We were just in the 40s a couple of nights ago. Cold has started early this year, but Jim is actually going back up to visit family in Maine. He's leaving for a week, and I wanted to get over here and catch the garden before he leaves, because it is night and day difference from when he came over here for the potato harvest, and now he's got potatoes out of the ground. Now he's got half the place planted. He's way ahead of schedule this year. The place looks great. There's mulch going out. I'm gonna shut up. Let's go find Jim. Hey, top of the morning to you.
Morning, Pete. Another lovely day in Florida.
What's growing on?
Oh, this is the last of the sweet potato digging. It's been a bit of a time-consuming thing, but a lot of potatoes this year, a lot of pretty ones. I mean, this is the Georgia Jets averaging, lots of these. But the way I've been harvesting them is, this is my big tech tool.
What is that?
It's a digging stick.
Okay.
So, I've dug them with everything I've tried, and you always scratch them or stick them with a fork. So what I've done is just started using this, and you kind of put your thumb in front of it and just sweep through the first 2 or 3 inches of soil, and you never stick them. I mean, it's kind of crazy to do a half acre like this, but right now it's under the shade, so there's not many potatoes right here. But that's how I did the whole property. So I can't say I'm no-till. That's my till, but it is low-tech tillage.
That's your soil disturbance?
Yeah, but check this one out. That's one of those purple passions. I don't know I wish I knew why that happens, but that was a good one. But yeah.
What do you got left? Just mom's front yard in the far east side there?
As far as digging?
Yeah.
It's done.
It's done.
This is the day. I was trying to get done by the time you got here.
Nice.
So we can actually see what the yield is. I guess we can go take a look at that.
I was gonna say, let's go check this out. You gotta watch out for your trellis here.
Yeah, definitely. With a hat, you walk into it often. But yeah, I'm giving up on peas this year. That just wasn't worth it. So these are all potatoes.
No peas this year.
They were gorgeous, and then they just never finished. They got tiny and got actually salty, so I don't know why, but
the peas got a salty flavor to them?
Yep.
Well, some salt's good on a pea. They were just too salty?
Too salty.
Too salty,
yeah.
Okay.
But this is the sweet potato harvest, I'm kind of a fisherman, and I kept saying, there's probably 1,000 pounds here. I thought it was more, but I mean, still, that's a lot.
I said I'm kind of a fisherman. In the last video, we were hoping for 2,000, right?
Yeah, I mean, and I've been telling you all along, but I mean, every one of those is like 50 pounds. And most of them, the big boxes are the uglies. Everything else is, sellable.
Have you sold any at market yet?
Yeah.
Okay, so some's missing from here.
Yeah, and there's some out back that I didn't bring up for this, but still, I mean, that's still, a lot of storable food.
Money in the bank.
Yeah, or again, money in the bank, who knows? Tesla stock could go down, but this won't be less valuable to me because I can eat it.
Food security, that's for sure.
Yeah.
What do you get for the pretties? $1.50 a pound?
No, I want $2.
$2 a pound?
And I talked to Sam over at Rice, and she's saying wholesale for purple ones, they're wanting $3. She buys them and marks them down so she can just have them.
Wow.
It's more of like a bring-in crop. So, I mean, I probably could charge more, but I mean, I figure anything I can get $2 a pound for that's storable is good. I try to do the same thing with onions, potatoes, sweet potatoes. Tomatoes are double that, because they take a little more effort, and I guess there's more value in them inherently, but awesome year this year. Seedlings are doing great.
I'm gonna say, you look way ahead of schedule.
Well, I'm actually exact same schedule as last year. I was looking at my journal. I was just finished up the first generation planting. So
did you get here earlier last year?
I got here 2 full weeks.
Okay, so
I've been busting my butt. But that whole sweet potato roundup really helped me out a lot because I could see what needed doing, and I got the patches of nutsedge and Bermuda grass that would creeped in the edges.
Nice.
Got that out. And then I had a surprise with nutsedge because you were here early filming, and there was a big patch of nutsedge, and it was all brown. I couldn't figure out what the heck, and I dug underneath it, and something parasitized all the nuts. So that could be something good happening, just by letting things, kind of inhabit the ground, and something beneficial stuff's coming in. Same thing with all these. There's just like billions of these this year. I mean, underneath that sweet potato canopy, when, you know, the leaves are just laying there, I'd pull over and there'd be like 70 in a like square foot area. But the more I think about that, so this is a, you know, crustacean, just like pillbugs are. And their shell is made of chitin. And chitin is a nematode suppressing natural occurring element. Not an element, I guess it's a, I don't even know what it is, but I know you measure it and it's a big deal. So, and it seems like the nematode pressure is down. I think that's why the sweet potatoes came in good. Morning. Yeah, I mean, these are just lovely Georgia Jets.
Some pretty ones.
Yeah, I mean, I love this size is like the average, and these are all coming off drops. So they aren't where the original slip is.
Really?
The original slip, they
Are the
often
big ones?
look like this. Well, no, they often look like that. You know, so that's an ugly I'll sell for $1 a pound, believe it or not.
Some people eat, some people for the dogs, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a good potato. It's just, you know, ugly.
Jim, I got to be honest, I was a little concerned after the sweet potato roundup that we uncovered this place too quickly. You weren't going to be able to get it covered up. You were going to get weeds. I mean, I was
Well, you know, there's been some good parts of that. So, you know, I always stress out a little about Bidens, you know, because they're so prolific. And there was like one Bidens over there, right? And I kind of took it out really gently. I mean, it was like, you know, 4 feet tall, and I got it over the fence. But there was 2 billion seedlings under that, you know, right afterwards. But as I dug the sweet potatoes, you know, they'd already got this big, so I pretty much, you know, weeded that or hoed it, you know, essentially digging the sweet potatoes. So most of that population, you know, flushed and is done. And so as I mulch over the top of it, there shouldn't be as much underneath trying to come up. And then, you know, the bad parts of the, you know, that, you know, I'm calling it crabgrass. I don't know what it is. It's a creepy grass that, you know, that's what was inhabiting all these spaces. And it doesn't really come up during the cool season. So, you know, there's seeds in the seed bank, but it's not an issue right now for me. My biggest problem is those, the nasturtiums.
those are a problem.
They just come up everywhere.
And you put those in your salad mix.
Right. I mean, so I'm leaving the wall. I keep weeding. I mean, there's probably, you know, 1,000 seedlings come up, and I'm going to weed it down to like 100, because they'll cover, you know, each one of those will cover a couple, 3-4 square feet into my path, but I'll be able to get my, you know, my nasturtium garnish out of that.
So you don't even have to replant those anymore. Wow.
It's definitely, an ecosystem is forming here just by how I'm doing things, and then I just continue to learn and press the envelope as far as production. You know, I did something new. I think the fertility is so large here that I can really stretch what I can grow. You know, if you sow a row of carrots, you know, that's taking a lot of fertility in a narrow spot. But if I can get 12 rows of carrots in the same spot because the fertility's there, I'm, you know, tripling what I've usually grown there. So that's what I did over here. We'll see if it works. So I still use the, you know, the crazy carrot planter. They all know about that though, right?
The plate?
Yeah.
It's been a while, but yes.
So this was all planted with this, but so this is 3 boards wide, so it's 12 inches. And then down there I had a different variety. I went with only 8 wide, or 2 boards wide, so it's 8. So every inch there's 12 carrots, right?
Wow.
And so I sell 12 carrots when they're fully sized for $3. So that's $3 an inch. 3 times 12 is what, 36? Yep. So $36 per foot.
Wow.
That could be a, you know, and so, you know, if I can do that instead of just doing 4 rows, and it's not taking up much more space.
Quite
you know,
the
because
cash crop.
yeah, because you got to get, you know, a path between them or some kind of separation. So it's, and the same thing I did with radishes. I noticed last year that where radishes were scattered outside the row, they still formed up and didn't squeeze each other. So I used the board here. These are radishes 4 inches on, or 1 inch on center, right? And then they just go the whole length. So I'm quadrupling my production, and none are right next to each other. So we'll see. I've seen, you know, in a couple of Coleman's videos, I saw where they were harvesting like a 8-foot wide bed that was just mass of, you know, 1 inch on center French breakfast radishes.
Wow.
But they've got the fancy Jang seeders or whatever them things are. And I might end up getting one of those, but they don't work on this rough terrain. So again, you'll have to change how I farm to meet the demands of the machine.
By rough, you mean the mulchy terrain?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where, so instead it's, in this way this system using the mulch is very prolific, very fertile, and if I can make it work using a lower tech idea and still get production, I can, not have to go where you have to change the way you farm for your machinery, which every farming does.
Yeah.
It just steps up as you leave the digging tool.
Speaking on production, I know we talk about this a lot, Jim, but I know the questions are going to be in the comments. We know you cover crop with some nitrogen fixing beans and so on, and peanuts. Obviously you had sweet potatoes here, but what did you amend this with before
Nothing.
You put all of this in the ground?
Nothing.
Just fertilizer?
No fertilizer. It's, they're, and the cover crop I think may be doing something, but I think it's important just to protect the ground from the sun, and that's sweet potatoes do that. So the massive amounts of soil life are here is where your fertility is. I keep changing how we don't view it like that, and we need to start looking at soil biology as fertilizer. So the bodies of those billions of microorganisms and macroorganisms are there holding all your nutrition. And so if you've got billions and billions more than you have over here in the grass, they're living and dying and they're producing the fertility. You just got to continue to feed them. And I think in our traditional systems where you're using finished compost, there's not a lot of microherd food in that. It's mostly leftovers. There's places for mycorrhiza and all that, but as long as I'm continuing to feed with a new Port Richey compost, a new batch of what they've been raised on, essentially, right? For 12 years, they've been raised on that compost.
Maybe we should go look at that, because you said that stuff's even looking better. Right?
Well, yeah, they changed the company for some reason because they were breaking down or whatever, so they put it out to bid, and the new company says, what screen should we use? Do you want it small or big? And they said, well, small. And so it turned out awesome. It's almost as good as the Dirt Buddy.
And this is free.
Free.
What?
Free. We shouldn't tell them because everybody's going to go over there and they'll be all gone. Oh, well. People don't want to work that.
You guys didn't hear that. That's not free.
And I'm spreading it really thin, but look at this. That's the biggest chunk now. There used to be 2-foot long pieces in there. So, and again, it's not really finished compost because there's all kinds of threads and stuff in there. But again, you've got a profile that, especially if you water it in, all the, the matty stuff, mulch-like, comes to the top. That's why I always, when I put it down, I water it in. And so you've got a mulch that will eliminate splash. And I get it again and again, say, how come your vegetable doesn't have any of the grit in it? And it's because it's not open sand like most farmers are using here, and you just can't wash that sugar sand out. Yeah. And I don't have to wash hardly at all, and there's no grit.
What truck number is this, Jim?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6 trucks so far.
And that's, right at 6 yards, so we're looking at 36 yards.
Yep.
And I've got another 6 to go. So
this is how we feed the soil, which in turn feeds the plants.
Yeah. We feed the microorganism in the soil, and that's what I'm doing in Maine. I've really seen that with the grasses, because you don't see in Maine much of that nice.
Oh my God, look at this, Peter.
Hey, top of the morning to you.
You too, sir.
Good morning, sir. So that's the guardian of the garden while you're not here?
Yep.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah. So hopefully he's not going to have to do too much with the irrigation. Yeah. So that's a new thing too, and I'm kind of liking that. I turned it on and went and dug potatoes, and it was getting watered while I was digging. That was kind of a new thing.
Jim's liking irrigation. Take notes.
I'm still going to hand water a lot, but yeah, it's a nice thing to have that break.
Okay.
But yeah, getting back to what I was talking about the grass in Maine, the garden soil there is kind of a clay loam. There's mixed a little rocks in there. And where I've been getting really good yields, putting a hell of a lot of grass on, probably 2 layers of 6 inches twice a year, there's none of that really black humus that you would think that you need to grow the plants. But just because the soil life's interacting and aerating and moving all the nutrients up and down through that soil profile, it's producing the same crops I'm getting as the ones where I've done the big sheet mulch and I've got that much good black new humusy soil. So I'm seeing that you're not actually truly improving the soil as much as you think you are. You're just making it productive.
Wow.
Again, I'm just giving you my observations. There's no science behind this. Hopefully my new buddy Willie will do some science. We're going to do some soil tests and see the difference of what the mowing makes and what the grass does. And so he's a little more... Yeah, Willie's tuned into that. You know, he's all into... Well, he knew Elliot Coleman growing up.
I mean,
when they were... Well, he's the... Yeah, he's the farmer guy.
Fence guy.
Yeah. He's going to be mob grazing and all that, but he's used to, you know, go skiing with Coleman back when they were in their 30s or 20s. So he does soil blocks. He's one of the few people I know that big time do soil blocks. And that's the other thing I'm seeing, that anybody that wants to be a market gardener needs to raise their own seedlings. I mean, really good seedlings. You put awesome seedlings in good ground and they just rock. I mean, these have only been in the ground 3 days. And they're only 20 days old. And look at how much they're already way out into the soil profile. They're reaching out. I mean, so that is just lovely that they just keep growing. There's no transplant shock, they just rock.
Jim, for the new people, why don't you show us the soil block real quick, just how it starts?
You want, I mean, like one of these?
Just grab one, yeah, maybe a bigger one. Just, I know you sent me a picture of one with some roots, just so, you know, everybody thinks that these come in plastic trays, and just, you know, if they haven't seen you before, they can see this is how you get started.
And look, we even got a friend somewhere in there. Where you must fell out.
A little worm fell out?
No, one of those
millipedes,
yeah.
Okay.
But, I mean, that's just rocking. And, you know, the whole air pruning thing, I don't think it's, you know, so they're going back and forth between blocks because I push them closer together, but still they didn't wrap. You know, it's a lot different. Herb gave me some, my buddy who brought me a bunch of tomatoes. Look at the difference. And this is what I think most people start with. You know, I've seen too many times somebody brings me seedlings. Here, I'll give you some seedlings. I mean, and they're happy to see that, right? I mean, that's just compared to, you know, even these are like only 5 days old. I mean, in the big blocks, they just got moved up.
And that's
And this is September.
September.
And then look
That's all smuggled in, huh? Root bound. Oh yeah.
So, I mean, you can put this in good soil and they'll rock, but it's just the difference that you'll have the quicker production. You know, I'll be harvesting, you know, lettuce when I get back.
Wow.
You know, these will almost be touching when I get back in 10 days or 12 days. And the arugula, same thing.
This won't even look the same. No, I know.
No, it's yeah.
Should be almost ready to harvest.
Yeah, I mean,
Lettuce.
I'm pretty much waiting now. I mean, I could be mulching more or doing something, but I decided to go to Maine and see my family up there, maybe shoot a deer, shoot some ducks.
Jim doing some hunting. Okay.
Yeah, that was fun this year.
Jim, are all these blocks going in before you leave?
Nope.
You'll have
So
to stay here?
with the irrigation, these will be a little too big when I get back.
Okay.
Because they got moved up like 2 days ago. I usually like to put them in the ground like 12 days after I moved them up, so they'll be more like 14. But so as soon as I get back, they'll go in the ground. And I'm going to start tonight, I'll start my minis again. So a whole nother round of, you know, 3,000 that'll go over there as I'm harvesting this.
Those will be getting watered here while you're gone.
Yep.
Okay. When you come back, they're going in bigger blocks.
Yep.
Okay.
So I pretty much didn't miss a beat.
Wow.
Because usually I love it for, you know, right at between 10 and 14 days, depends on what the temperatures are. If it's cold, it's 14 days, and I'll be gone for 10 or 11, so it'll be 13 days.
Wow.
But there won't be no break. I'll have to get off the plane and go.
Go, go, go.
Yeah. There's some Maine onions. They're not that good. I kind of let them get overwatered, but these are similar to the ones I had planted over there, remember last year? So they're short day length. And then Herb gave me some sets. So that's what these are. They were rotting. I was surprised they even grew, but so I'm curious. So this is supposedly a super sweet. It must be like a Gran X or a Gran O. I want to see what the difference is and how they produce.
Those are some monster soil blocks.
Yeah, so you saw these in Maine. Now this is a good idea. It shows how the root pruning goes.
This is a Maine soil block?
These were in 2 inches. I brought them back, and as soon as I got here, I made the 4-inch and planted them. So they were a little slow to get going. I don't think my mix was right yet. It may have sat over the summer, but I mean they're sturdy plants, and you know, if we don't get a frost, I'll get pretty good production because I've got like 60 out there. Because Herb brought me, my buddy Herbert Heap, he brought me like 40 of them, and so they're underneath all the trellises. I'm gonna go ahead and use a bigger twine. Last year that was a big mistake.
The twine gave out, yeah.
So that same twine I was using for the hay baling, I brought back that whole row, so I got all the twine I need.
That's heavy duty.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that should be good, and that's organic too. So it'll break down and not have a, you know, that's the thing about all the plastic stuff. You got to figure out it sits there and gets, you know, there forever.
What do you do with it?
Yeah, I mean that's the problem with a lot of greenhouse. Yeah, I mean greenhouse production, just the plastic that goes away. But you know, I like that. You know, these plastic trays have been used for, you know, probably, you know, 15, 16 years already, and you just keep using them. The whole wall was full and I was out of them, and now I just planted them, so I'll have more to move up.
I like it. Less waste.
Yeah, and better plants. So that was I always get surprises when I come back. So this here is holy basil. There's like 3 different kinds of holy basils anyway. So when I left here, I pulled all the soil out in a big chunk because there was like annuals in here. And I was trying to get this holy basil to grow along here. It wouldn't grow because it likes the heat. So this was an empty pot, right? With just a little hole going down through it. Must have got some dirt in it and a seed. No irrigation all summer. And it's thriving. So plants want to grow if you give them the right conditions.
Wow, talk about thriving on neglect, huh?
Right. And same
No
thing,
love.
you know, the nasturtiums. They waited all summer for these soil temperatures. They just sit in the ground getting rained on. You know, they ain't stored in a special, you know, refrigerator and, you know, the envelope. They just know how to do it. So
I know what time it is, huh?
yeah, and that's the whole idea. That's why, you know, these vegetables just love the cool season. And the people that start in August, I don't know how Little Pond does it. You know, they produce pretty good veggies, but, you know, I'm watching my other friends and they're just, you know, my stuff will pick up, you know, catch up and pass the ones they started in September.
Yeah, they're starting seasons in the air conditioning inside.
Right.
Really getting started early. Nice. Well, there's gonna be a lot here to see when you get back, Jim.
Yeah, I love that because usually, you know, if I go away for a weekend, it's like, wow, look at how much it grew. But to be gone for almost 2 weeks, it'll be...
You'll almost be asking for pictures, huh? Be thinking about your garden.
Yeah. Well, maybe Johnny will send me some.
You got a smartphone now.
But
It's
I
not
saw
too hard.
I saw they were saying 40s by sometime next week, so that we could be looking at frost.
Already had 40s up by me.
So we'll see what happens. I know, you know, I saw robins this morning, so the snowbirds are back with me.
I got them on the tape for a second. So
Okay, cool.
They followed you back, Jim.
Yeah, and then, oh, that was something. So you did all the peanut pictures, right?
Yeah.
You know, I think the crows ate most of the peanuts. I was surprised. I mean, they'd come here every day, and they were, you know, by the time I went and pulled them, there wasn't much for peanuts left. I mean, there were some.
I ate a few that day when we were
Yeah,
here
I
for the
mean-
harvest. I was actually, they were impressed. They're pretty sweet.
Yeah, they're really sweet, you know, but I mean, I didn't know what to do with them, so, you know, they're sweet. I mean, I guess I didn't know what to do with them, so I let
Cover
the crows.
crop.
Well, I'm curious. When I was pulling up some of the vines, the roots were just coated. I don't know if it was galls from the nematodes or if it was actually nitrogen.
Oh, you mean some nodules on there almost. Nice.
Yeah, so I'm curious to see what these both beds, the front one and this one, if they are overly productive this year.
Awesome. All right, Jim. So when you get back from Maine,
Yeah,
we'll be back. Have a safe trip.
thanks.
All right, guys, so another follow-up with Mr. Kovaleski here this morning. And I've had some comments, Pete, I want to see your jobs. You know, why are you always over at Jim's house? And guys, I'm always over here at Jim's house because I think there's just always an awesome message in every video we do. Also, Jim just shows the example of you can do this. You can do this on your own. You can make a living doing this. You know, Jim is 60 years old, farming his front yard, making a living I think this is something for young people that are up and coming. I think this is something for somebody that's tired of their job. Local food is coming back. I mean, I think it's becoming a big time thing these days. Where your food came from, who grew it, what was put on it. There's a higher value for that. So this is a viable living. Jim has an awesome message here to give you guys. So I have a course with Jim. We have a master class. If you guys want to get more in depth with this, if you want to do this on your own, that link is always in the description of the Jim videos down below. Check it out. We're always adding new footage to it. When I just went back up to Maine, I got some more footage that's going in there shortly, so stay tuned. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button. Most importantly, get out there, start a garden, and pound some dirt.